This video is about Phase 5 building commissioning, that is integrated systems testing, or IST. IST is about verifying functional performance and interconnectivity of all systems within the whole building context. That's MEP, architectural, access control, blah, 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 everything. Ironically, considering how important this is, there are no generally agreed standards. The best guidance out there at the moment is NFPA 3 and 4. And also shout out to NFPA. In 2015, they issued a handbook called Commissioning and Integrated Systems Testing Handbook. And it is great. It really incorporates all the guidance and practice for NFPA 3 and 4 and some extra guidance. It is really good. It is, in my opinion, the gold standard out there at the moment. Again, ironically, very few people know it exists, and I very, very rarely see it talked about. I don't think I've ever seen it implemented on any North American job I've worked on. Anyway, it's there and it should be used. As regards to the Brits, they normally lead with this sort of thing. I don't know what their plan at, but CIDSE Commissioning Code M, Commissioning Management, doesn't really talk about IST. I think it mentions it once in a table in an appendix, and BSRA are nowhere to be seen. So as far as I'm concerned, CIBSE and BSRA are behind the curve here, which is ironic because the Brits were really the first to really punch down and punch up on IST and do it as a form of common practice on mission critical jobs. So it's a bit strange, but as usual, there is a British North American divide on common practice. It's more common for the Brits to do it, and it's ironically the Americans with NFPA have the best guides and standards. Life is strange, right? That is the chaos of the commission industry. Everything you need to know there. So integrated systems testing is a post-functional performance test activity. So what I mean by that is there is an assumption, and before you start IST testing, that functional performance testing for individual systems is complete. Because what IST is doing is testing the interoperability and interfunctional performance of systems with each other. So there is a hierarchy there of component testing, system functional performance testing, and then IST, right? So this phase of commissioning consists of 4 tasks. The first one is like the bare basic you have to do, which is the testing necessary to satisfy the authority having jurisdiction. So the bare minimum. And that normally consists of fire alarm testing and some life safety testing, say staircase pressurization. That is the bare minimum you need to do to get the occupancy certificate, and yeah, that's it. It happens on most jobs. Unbelievably, it doesn't happen on all jobs, but it happens on most jobs. The next level up from that is black building testing. So that's where you throw on top of the bare basic is a power failure test. So you've failed a power, do the systems go down as they should, and do they come back automatically as they should? That's a half-day, one-day test that should be done. For me, that's a bare basic, but that is a step up from the basic that the authority having jurisdiction require. The next level of testing, task 3, is scenario testing. So this is really what it's about. If your facility is in any way mission critical to your business or society in general, a biohazard lab, an operating theater, a data center, a dealing floor on a bank, you have to do scenario testing around integrated systems testing. So this is testing in all modes of operation. This is tested in full failure and part failure modes. It's catastrophe testing. It's risk management to some people. Whatever way you want to call it, it doesn't matter. But you've got to test all modes of operation and all possible modes of failure to know the systems are resilient and they operate and they interact correctly. That is really what should happen on all jobs. Should be in the most dangerous word in the English language and also the most useless word in the English language. It needs to be specified properly for this to happen. It does happen on, I personally see this testing on a lot of mission critical facilities like data centers, for example. It's pretty much standard testing there now, but it should be everywhere. The last task in this phase of commissioning is training the facilities management team on the integrated testing scenarios and advising them that they should be doing some periodic drills on failure testing and scenario testing. So again, those are the 4 tasks, but it's a bit more complex than that. There are 3 required minimum inputs to do these tasks. So input number 1 is a competent and experienced commissioning team. Do not underestimate how hard it is to find that. For every 10 commissioning people out there, 8 of them really are not up to doing this task. So you've really got to drill down on their specific sector and building type experience and their qualifications. The next ingredient is a cause and effects matrix for each system and for the building. So this, again, should be done by the design team. Good luck with that. It's not often you get that done. So what tends to happen is whatever matrix exists from design phase, the commissioning team take and develop. But either way, you need them. You need to know, if I pull the fire alarm in the lobby, does the elevator ground, do your hand units go off, does this happen, does that happen, right? So you need that. And the other thing you need are test scripts. So these are your testing scripts that detail all the tests you're going to do for the different modes of operation and different failure possibilities. That needs to be scripted out, the expected action and reactions, and then checked and tested to see if they happen. They all need to be documented results. So those are the 3 required inputs. So in summary, there's a hierarchy here. There's the minimum you need to do for life safety and authority having jurisdiction. Then there's life safety plus mission critical systems. And then there's the whole building context. And we should remember, most owners who appoint a design and construction team, they have a working presupposition in their mind that when they get that building given to them, it works and it's been tested and it operates exactly as it should. The thought that things haven't been tested functionally and inter-system operability hasn't been tested doesn't go through their mind. But the reality is most jobs are not tested that way. So we need to close this gap between reality and what people think they're buying. And IST really is, again, in my mind, if I'm an owner, this is a risk management thing. If I have a data center and I want 99.99% uptime, I have to test all possible single points of failure, all possible failure modes, and the resilience and the comeback from any failures or disasters. So that's IST. I have a free download that describes this in more detail and the different levels of testing on my website. I'll put a link in the notes below. I hope that was useful, and I'll see you next week with the final phase of commissioning.